important for you to understand those differences, like Siddhanta, Advaita, Yoga? What is the ultimate goal? Is to integrate all of that?
Well, I think it's to help people to make some choices and to appreciate that they've been thrown into a vast spiritual marketplace. And you
Yes.
might have up in the front door just wanting to buy a bottle of milk, and then you see thousands of other things. And, of course, Yogananda, in some sense, knew human nature pretty well. So what did he do? He talked all about all these special experiences and powers and these personalities, because in our human nature, we would much prefer to hear stories about, interesting people than to hear dry philosophy, right? So he enriched his book. His book became so popular by talking about all these miraculous things. And, of course, that leaves people very unprepared for the actual hard work of overcoming all your human nature and resistance, and also leaves you filled with expectations that if you don't have all the same miraculous experience that Yogananda had, within 2 weeks of starting your practice, you may become very disappointed and start looking elsewhere. Okay, so this is the problem of people who are sort of dilettantes, and at some point you begin to realize that it's really up to you. You have to sit down and do the sadhana and discipline yourself. We have a saying that we're all dreaming with our eyes open. That's why we suffer. And the Siddhas would say,
That's good.
As a diagnostic of our human condition, but as a prescription,
Yes,
they would say the amount of happiness in life is proportional to your discipline. And they're not talking about discipline imposed upon you by someone else, but self-discipline. And they're using the term.
Please repeat
sadhana.
this. It's important, Marshall Govindan. Go ahead. Please expand on this topic, please.
Okay. Right. So we're dreaming with our eyes open. Think of the happiest day of your life, right? Okay, it's your marriage day. Everything went according to plan, and all the, the ritual, the ceremony, the party. But at some point, even on that happiest day of your life, perhaps at some point some doubts came into your mind, like, did I make the right choice? Can I really spend the rest of my life with this person? And like a cloud passing in front of the sun, your happiness was eclipsed, right? And if you watch your mind, it's constantly being invaded by thoughts which eclipse or interrupt the natural bliss of your soul, right? On a fundamental level, your soul is in unconditional joy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But we keep ignoring it because we're so distracted by things outside through the five senses, the emotions, memories, hopes, desires, fears. Right? So the Siddha said as a prescription, right, like a good doctor, that your happiness is proportional to your self-discipline. And sadhana, or self-discipline, is everything you do to remember who am I, and everything you do to let go of what I am not. Meaning the false identification with thoughts like I'm tired, I'm not good enough, I'm afraid, I'm angry, or the physical aches and pains of the body, or emotional distractions, right? So as we let go of this false identification more and more, what becomes apparent is that our soul, its perspective of the witness consciousness, is always there, always shining with bliss and realization. So this is why we encourage people to see yoga as a process of purification of the manifestations of egoism, and not simply as a band-aid to temporarily, you might say, put a balm on whatever stress or discomfort they may be feeling. Which in the West, yoga has really been sold as just a bottle of milk in the supermarket, and not as samadhi. There is no one teaching samadhi. When I give the third initiation, 95% of the people go into samadhi during the third initiation. So, and I don't think there's anybody else who's actually teaching this, at least in the West, that I know of.